What's happening, everybody? It's your boy, Sean McLaughlin, at Options Sean on Twitter X. Today is October 3rd, 2024. It's great to have you here. I just got back from a little vacation out in Yosemite. So I apologize that there was no are we did a jam session last week, right? We did it early. Yeah, but just sorry for getting out of the rhythm of the normal schedule, but we're back on schedule now. Normally we do these on Thursdays. And for those of you who are new here, what we do is we review any action in the All-Star Options portfolio, any trades we may have exited or adjusted. We have some adjustments to talk about today. We also update stops on existing positions, ideally positions that are working. That's the ideal situation. And then we do a quick little review of any new positions we've entered since we last spoke. I see you in the chat, Rachel. Hi, Rachel. Missed you at Future Proof a couple weeks ago. Also in the chat, if you are not involved in All-Star Options and you want to get involved, click that link and join us. We do multiple trades a week. We got a live chat room for everybody to be involved and to ask questions and to share ideas and to commiserate when things are going bad and to celebrate when things are going well. We got a fun little community. I got to meet several people from the community in person in Chicago a couple weeks ago, which was awesome. And I hope to meet more of you as the days and weeks and years go on. Boy, we've been doing this All-Star Options now for about 8 years. Wow, it's been a long time. Anyway, let me drop the old disclaimer here. Like always, everything we discuss here is for educational purposes only. I'm showing you what I'm doing with my money, and I hope that you learn something from following or from seeing how I go through my process. All right, so let's look at the charts. Right, let's just start at the high levels. Here's the S&P 500, the SPY. As you can see, we broke out to new all-time highs a few weeks ago, but we've stalled a bit. Going a little sideways. Some might call that a flag, perhaps. This is not necessarily any cause for concern, at least this SPY chart. Looks like a little bit of healthy digestion. We have earnings season right around the corner, so I expect things to get a little bit more lively very soon. But for now, the SPY is just kind of seems to be in a holding pattern. If I bring up the Qs, a little bit more back and forth, but same story, just kind of chopping around here for the last couple weeks, although notably below the all-time highs set in July. I'd like to see NASDAQ get above these highs, back above 503 this fall. That would be good. That would be very bullish. But that's where we're at with the indices. VIX has been telling a little bit of a different story this week. Nothing incredibly alarming here, but this has been a notable rise over the last 5 or 6 trading days. We traded, VIX had a handle of 15 not too long ago, and we've seen prints above 20 this week. So what's that? That's a 33% rise at one point or at points along the way in volatility. So that is something to pay attention to, something I am certainly paying attention to, and it is something that is informing trades that I've put on recently and will look to put on in the coming days, maybe for the next week or so. So that's kind of the high level here. Let's talk about some open positions that need to be addressed or need to be talked about. We don't have any full exits of any positions over the last week. So nothing we exited. We didn't exit any wins. We didn't exit any losses, but we did make some adjustments. So let's talk about this IEF. This is the 7 to 10 year Treasury bond ETF. We put on a call calendar spread on this day here, this big green candle day on September 4th. We sold an October 100 call and purchased the March 100 calls. We did that for $1.55 net credit. So this position was going our way. It was looking pretty good for a while. It's since come all the way back basically to where we entered. Not necessarily a bad thing, but today, and I put this in the chat yesterday that I was going to put out a resting order to cover the short calls, the October 100 calls, cover them for 5 cents. I got hit on that this morning. So I'm out of the October short calls. So now all I have is the March 100 calls that I'm long, which is great. However, as you can see, this stock is now, or this ETF is now flirting with my stop loss level. 97.50 is my stop. And we're right there right now. Now I want to see a closing price below 97.50 before I'll exit the position. So maybe this thing rallies later today and it lives to fight another day. It's currently trading at 97.54. So it's right there. But if we do close below 97.50 today and remain there at the open tomorrow morning, I will close my position and walk away. Not a big loss, thankfully. Thankfully, because we entered this as a call calendar spread. I wanted to be an owner of the March 100 calls, and we talked about this when I put the trade on. Really, the position I wanted was the March 100s, but I was concerned that it might take a little while to get there. And that's why I sold the October 100 calls against it, creating that call calendar spread for situations exactly like this. So if we exit this for a loss tomorrow, it shouldn't be that big of a loss at all. It might be close to a scratch. We'll see. All right, so that's it for IEF. A similar story with Uber, but we're not there yet. We have a call calendar spread on in Uber. We put this on September 19th. We bought the March 80 calls and we shorted the October 80 calls against it for many of the same reasons with that bond trade. We paid 550 all in on day one. So I'm going to put, I don't have it in yet. I need to do that. Note to self. I'm going to put an order in to close these calls, these short calls, these October 80 calls. I'm going to put a bid in to close these at 5 cents. Just good till cancel. And when it gets it. Great, but we are in the expiration month. So I expect those to come off soon. But the stock, just like IEF, is getting close to our stop level. 71 is my stop, and we're getting there. We're not there yet. No reason to, head to the exits just yet. I'm hoping that, it's kind of come back into a level of support. It was previous resistance. I'm hoping this will act as support. We've got a rising 200-day moving average coming up below it. We got a rebounding 50-period moving average coming up below it. So I'm hoping that Uber is going to find some support here, and then our March 80 calls will turn us into some nice winners. But for now, I'm leaving a resting order to close the October calls for 5 cents. I'll probably get hit in the next couple of days as long as we don't get a big rally in Uber. So that's it for open positions we have right now. Again, nothing else exited, nothing else was adjusted. This is the action in the portfolio this week. Let's update some stops. We have 5 positions in no particular order here that we're going to raise our stops on. First up is Coupang, ticker CPNG. One of our Asian trades, part of our Asian theme. We like some opportunities in Asia right now. We've had a bit of a pullback in these Asian names over the last week, which is frustrating. But long term, we still like these setups. We just hope we can weather the short term volatility. Anyway, I'm raising my stop in Coupang up to 23. We're long the February 25 calls for $2. They were looking great for a few days last week, but we're moving our stop to 23. Any close below $23 for Coupang, and we are out of that trade. Next up, A-Mark Precious Metals, ticker AMRK. We're long the December 45 calls. For 3 days, we were looking like geniuses. We got in on the low part of this wick here. And for 3 straight days, it just went straight up. We were looking like we caught the tail there, and this thing was going to run for us. It has since pulled back. It's a constructive pullback now that we've had a little bit of distance from that big red candle on September 16th. I like the way this is acting here. I'm hoping this will form some solid support. I'm moving my stop up to 41. I would like to move it up to 42.50 pretty soon. Maybe next week we will. But for now, I don't want to be too aggressive on raising my stop. I want to give this thing time to work. I feel like it's earned the right to have some wiggle room due to the way it performed once we first got in. But for now, stop is at 41. Any close below 41, and I will change my mind and get out of this trade. We already talked about IEF, so we'll skip that one. Sherwin-Williams, the paint company, got into this one in mid-August. We bought the December 400 calls. This too is, it's been a little bit of a wild ride in the beginning, but it's firming up, consolidating at a higher level. I'd like to see it find some support right around here. But for now, moving our stop up to 362. which corresponds with this rising 50-period moving average. If we, as long as we stay above 362, I like sticking with Sherwin-Williams. Let's go. Let's paint some new highs. Okay, you like what I did there? All right. Last up is 10 Cent Music, another China themed play. This one more or less shot out of the gate for us right away. We got in during this red candle day here, September 25th. We bought the March 15 calls for 55 cents, and boom, the next day we gapped higher. We've had another gap higher since. It's volatile for sure, but it's going our way. We're sitting on some profits here. That's great. I'm moving my stop now up to 11. I don't want to see it. I mean, we've had a few gaps here, but I don't want to see it pull back into this gap. That would be a clear sign that we're wrong. But again, this one has earned the right to give to have a little bit of wiggle room due to the fact that it started ripping for us right away. I talk about this all the time. All of my best trades, I shouldn't say all, but most of my best trades, my biggest winners, one common trait they all share is that they all started out winning right away. And so 10 Cent, although it's been volatile, I mean, look at this. I mean, we entered on September 25th, this red candle, and the next day it ripped, I mean, really ripped in our direction. That's a good sign. That's what we want. So I have a feeling this one has a good potential to be a big winner for us. But 11 is currently our stop. All right, now let's just go into any new trades we've added since we last spoke last week. Again, for those of you first timers here, all of these new trades, we publish a detailed trade plan for every trade that we put up. You could find it at allstarcharts.com. You can go go to the option section and find our trade details there. We talk about the setup and why we like it, what we like about the setup. We talk about the option strategy we will use to participate in the trade. We talk about risk management, where we will stop out, where we might protect our profits, and where we may take profits. We don't always take profits. Sometimes we have trades that we just want to let them go to the moon, so to speak. But we put all those details out so that from day one, you have the action plan. Now, look, it's up to you. It's your money. You could trade it any way you want, but you have the action plan of how I'm going to do it. And while my action plan might not always be the ideal or the perfect action plan, we never know that until after the trade completes, right? Hindsight is 20/20. But in my experience, having a plan and sticking to it more often than not, far more often than not, plays out for me the way I like it. So anyway, these three trades, I won't get into the details of the trade, but I will just give you some high level. Grab, this is the Uber of Southeast Asia. We like Uber for a breakout here. We got long here a few days ago. It's not working yet. But as long as it kind of holds this level here, this is a cheap stock, by the way. I don't usually trade these cheap stocks, but this is a very unique situation where we have potential big leverage gains if we get this right. But we're long. Grab, Zim Integrated Shipping Services, ZIM. Got into this one this week. This was this is shipping name. Shipping is in the news, as you know. So I expect this trade to be volatile, and the market is delivering so far. But we got a strategy to play this, so I'm not worried yet. But we are in Zim. Maybe we're early. That's okay. And then next up is NVIDIA. Got into this trade yesterday. This is a delta neutral credit spread. We are selling some premium here, taking advantage of that rise in VIX that we talked about at the top of the show. NVIDIA felt like a good instrument. It's consolidating, as you could see. We have a series of lower highs as well as a series of higher lows. It's compressing. We like that. Those tend to be the ideal setups for delta neutral credit spreads. So that's what we did here in NVIDIA yesterday. Again, find all the details on the blog. Well, I don't see that there's any questions in the chat, so that's great. But let me just throw this in here real quick. Or actually, hold on. Let me go here. Let's review the updated stops. I know you guys like this slide, so here it is. You can screenshot it. These are the updated stops. And lastly, as always, if you have questions and you didn't get them into the chat today, shoot me an email at info@allstarcharts.com. That'll get routed to me, and I'll answer you as soon as I can. You got the link here. If you're not involved in All Star Options and you want to get involved, that's the link. It's also in the YouTube chat. So click it there. And finally, if you like the charts that I share, again, TrendSpider, my friends at TrendSpider hooked us up, hooked all of you up. If you want to subscribe to trendspider.com and get their excellent charts, if you use promo code Sean50, they'll give you 50% off their subscription rates. So pretty sweet. All right, everybody, that's all I got for you. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy your football. I don't know where you live. It's different everywhere, but where I live, fall finally it feels like it's starting to set in. The trees are starting to change colors. It's getting a little chilly in the mornings when I wake up. So fall is definitely in the air. So if you're doing fall or autumn things this weekend, enjoy. I know I will be. Okay, everybody. Until then, see you next week. Take care.